Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in today. My name is Melissa Kelleher and I'm a fertility counselor at RMA of Connecticut. Joining me is Elaine Malin, one of our acupuncturists. How are you doing today, Elaine?
Great, thanks Melissa.
So I'm ready to jump in to today's topic, focusing on ways to help you find your holiday zen, even in the midst of challenges of fertility treatments and the emotions that go along with it.
Yes, it's no secret that the holidays can be stressful for everyone. And when you're involved in fertility treatment, that stress can be heightened, leading to an increase in emotions and reactions that can also lead to some physical symptoms. We both work with mind and body, so today we're going to talk to you a bit about how you can help.
Absolutely. The holidays can be very difficult for those trying to conceive for various reasons. For some, holidays can trigger intense emotions or feelings because they act as a reminder of what you're hoping and dreaming and working towards. Another way that the holidays can increase your anxiety is because when you go to these holiday parties, you may be, hearing comments that can really hit you right in the heart.
That's so true, and you are not alone if you feel that way. While their intentions are typically loving, no one wants to hear, when are you having kids? Why don't you have any kids? You better have kids quick before it's too late. The list goes on, and each and every one of those comments is painful. So it also just hurts sometimes to be around family, friends, coworkers who are pregnant, have an infant, have children.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and sometimes because of this, instead of looking forward to the holidays, you might be dreading having to go to some holiday events. So what we're here to do today is we want to arm you with some reliable and effective coping strategies that can help you get through this holiday season with minimal amount of stress. Elaine, can you talk to us a little bit about acupuncture and its benefits?
Sure. Acupuncture is a 4,000-year-old holistic medicine system, and it has benefits for both fertility and for stress reduction. So fertility-wise, we're interested in bringing blood flow to the reproductive organs, but this is focused on mind and spirit. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on that today. So acupuncture is able to smooth your nervous system. So when you're stressed, you go into that fight or flight mode, and it creates this whole cascade of hormones and physical reactions that Melissa will talk about in a bit. Acupuncture can help reduce that stress response, and that helps balance your emotions, and it can also help work on any of the physical symptoms that result from that. So for instance, what's going on, because I get that question a lot, what's acupuncture actually doing? So among other things, we are able to measure what's going on in your brain. So when they take a functional MRI, which shows how your brain is working, after you have your acupuncture, activated are the parts of the brain that have to do with rest, digestion, calming, sleeping, feeling much better, and it deactivates the parts of the brain that are activated when you are in stress and fight or flight, all of which is good. It also helps produce those feel-good chemicals that you produce naturally. Everybody's heard of endorphins and serotonin and dopamine and those kinds of things.
Great. And how can acupuncture help you find your zen for the holidays?
Well, scheduling an appointment gives you a reason to have a little me time where you can work on your physical and mental well-being. It can also help reduce the stress and the effects of it. So specifically, everyone's different. Everybody feels stress differently in their bodies. So how many people have stress and all of a sudden their shoulders are in knots and they can't move their head, or they can't sleep, they're up all night, or all of a sudden they get a cold every other week. So acupuncture is a great medicine because it really is able to allow us to focus on the individual, as do you, and address your specific problems. So if you're having trouble sleeping because of stress, we would address, first of all, the stress response, and second of all, any of the symptoms that you have physically from that stress. The other thing we hear all the time from people is after acupuncture, I cope so much better, which is a skill that's great for all of us.
Yes. Okay.
And just the other thing, beside having a little me time, is that you are being proactive. while you're de-stressing to help maintain the momentum that you have with your fertility goals. As I said, one of our aims is to bring blood flow to the reproductive organs. But studies have shown that there's a correlation between reducing stress and increased fertility. And the correlation occurs no matter what the modality is, whether it's yoga, meditation, counseling, acupuncture. You are being proactive in furthering your fertility goal. But when patients report that they feel calmer and more relaxed after treatment, that might make it easier to deflect unwanted comments or questions that you receive over the holidays, as well as allow you to experience some moments of joy. You may be surprised at what happens during the holidays.
Okay. Well, that sounds like it could definitely be helpful to find your holiday zen.
Right. And I want to address this. I know our patients are exposed to many needles because of the nature of the care they get here at RMA. And I assure you that our needles are totally different. They're as thin as a hair. They're so flexible I can tie them in a knot. They're solid. There's nothing in them. There's nothing on them. And alternatively, we offer laser acupuncture here at RMA of Connecticut. That is completely painless. The needles are stimulated in the same way as with traditional acupuncture, but it's using a low-level near-infrared light.
That's great. So I've had acupuncture before, and I could vouch that the needles are nothing like the needles you would use for blood draws or medication. There should even be a different word for them.
I'm working on that.
So this all sounds amazing, Elaine. Thank you. I know our patients would really benefit from acupuncture.
Oh, you're welcome. And would you chat a little bit about the mind-body approach and how our patients can benefit from that when they're in the midst of the holiday hoopla?
Yeah, and I'll definitely piggyback on some of the you talked a little bit about that with the acupuncture piece. So the mind-body approach is based on research which has shown that there is a direct connection between your emotional state and the effects it has on your physical health. So for instance, many patients when they're going through treatment can feel will experience chronic stress. And this can make them feel anxious, it can make you feel frustrated, it can make you feel angry, and that will really affect your physical health. So, what Elaine had said before, that patients can feel that they're getting headaches, they can't sleep, they become, their stomach's upset, they can have back and neck pain if that's where they hold their tension. So what I do is I work with them to develop tools to decrease all of this stress, the emotional stress, which in turn will help them with their overall physical health. So my ultimate goal is to help patients learn ways to deal and cope with the roller coaster of emotions that come with fertility treatment, which can be even more magnified during the holiday season.
Oh, that's great. So tell us some of the tips and techniques.
Okay, so really simply, the first tool I always recommend is utilizing a breathing technique. It's short, it's easy to master, and you can do it anywhere. And it sounds simple because it is. And the benefits that you get from slowing your breathing rate down when you are feeling stressed is that it will give you immediate relief to your physical symptoms. So you'll find you'll have a decrease in your heart rate, you'll have lowering your blood pressure, you'll have a decrease in your muscle tension, and you will also decrease the stress hormones in your body, which you had touched upon a little bit before, Elaine. Right. So, when you come into a session with me, I'll go through some individual breathing techniques that you can utilize, and I also will recommend apps that you can use where you can kind of take those on the go. So one app that I definitely would recommend is called Fertility. The reason I recommend it is because it was developed by two reproductive psychologists, Dr. Domar and Dr. Grill, and it was produced by Ferring Pharmaceuticals. And what I really, really like about that app is that they're talking about relaxation techniques and tips you can utilize during stressful events, and it's aimed at the fertility patient. Yeah. So it's a really good one.
I give that one out all the time and get terrific feedback from the patients. So, and it's completely free. So
yeah,
if it's not your cup of tea, you're not out. It's worth a try. Well, this sounds great. And it sounds like it's something all of us can use to help prepare to navigate the holidays more comfortably.
Yeah, it truly is. If you practice some of these relaxation exercises, it can be a lifesaver. You'll hopefully feel better able to handle your next family gathering and the questions they may ask you.
Well, thank you. So helpful. Thanks for sharing. And please note that in addition to counseling and acupuncture, RMA of Connecticut offers other mind-body assistance. We have Fertile Yoga. We have Ladies Night In, which is a peer-led support group run by our patient advocate, Lisa Rosenthal. And we also have various other support groups run by our Director of Mental Health Services, Lisa Schumann. They're great. They're great events, and they're free of charge. Again, so try it out. See what's your cup of tea, and you can visit www.rmact.events for more information. And there's usually paper calendars around.
Mm-hmm. I think all those are great, and that's exactly what I tell my patients. I always say to them, try it. Try it. The worst thing is that you may that not be the best thing, but the best thing is that you will find some benefits of it. And I think that's I'm always like, try everything. So it's important to just remember that you can be proactive and maintain momentum by taking care of yourself during the holiday season. That could mean that you pick and choose which holiday events you want to attend and which you might not this year.
I do. I don't go to everything.
Yeah. It's impossible. Remembering that skipping a holiday event doesn't mean forever breaking a tradition. It just means taking a break. It might not be popular with everybody, but it could be a key to finding your holiday zen.
Right. Great thoughts, Melissa. Thanks. And you might be surprised. You may find a little gem of joy in the holidays. Just be open to that. And I know for some, the holidays are actually great. They're taking a break from their fertility treatment, so it's something they don't have to think about, and they don't have to go in that parking lot again. And for others, the new year, there's going to be new insurance plans, so they're excited that after the holidays, they're going to be starting their treatment or renewing their treatments. And so let's talk.
Okay. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about some other tips or tools you can utilize specifically during the holiday season.
Great. So like the breathing, patients use a little, we call them ear seeds or ear beads. It's a tiny little way to put pressure. It stays on your ear, put a little acupressure, and we put that on the well-being point, helps smooth the autonomic nervous system, and that goes with you. It's nice to be able to help yourself.
I like that. I want to try that.
I've never put one on.
I like that. The other thing is to before I was just talking about that there might be some holiday events that you could skip this year. But there, if you feel that there is one you really need to go to, the way you can kind of take back control is to plan for it in advance, to kind of anticipate maybe who are the people that are going to be there that might be asking you questions. So the way to kind of prepare yourself for an event you have to go to is to kind of have an exit strategy ahead of time. So you may, want to talk to your partner or a friend you're going with, and just say, okay, if things get a little, uncomfortable, I'm going to use this code word and we're going to kind of head out a little bit early. So it's okay to kind of have that out. And I think that could be a stress relief, knowing that you don't have to stay for the whole party if you don't feel like you want to.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes creating a script beforehand can be helpful. Just, knowing you might get some comments because maybe certain people have done them before. Just knowing how you're going to react, you rehearse it, and it's so much easier to respond that way. And then you just change the subject and move on. And if you get someone who's really, really digging in, the late great Ann Landers once said, a good way to respond to questions that are really unwelcome and intrusive is to look at them and say, why do you ask? And that prompt is usually enough for people to stop and realize that they've overstepped.
That's a good one. So, and then the other thing that we were talking about, before, was that the holidays don't have to be all, negative or all, that you're not going to look forward to anything at all. So, try to think about the things about the holidays that you really do like and focus on that for the holidays. Maybe it's you love making cookies. Maybe it's you like giving, doing crafts and making crafts for people, or getting together for dinner, a holiday dinner in the city with a special friend. So, you want to try and think of some things that are actually good and positive during the time too, and you kind of create your own traditions or new traditions as well. Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Melissa, and I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you a holiday stress-free holiday season. Thank you.